second. Shabbat Shalom.
Con. I'm actually start with the word.
Con. Same we long with something. All right, we good.
Con. Hey, shalom, shalom.
Shalom.
Anakna waha ay bar sha'Allah wa lakim la atam. Call Shabawai Baharacha Wakak Shaw Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Ma'ama. Hey, with the Hebrew Israelites coming to you week in and week out through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh to preach to you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, Senior Haitians, and this life on us. Repent ye, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand. First and foremost, before we get started, I'm going to go ahead and say, Call
Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Bahasham Hakadosh.
Hey, double honor to the elders and apostles of great muscle that told us truth and rule well. And much respect to you brothers that are Christians, truth with all righteousness. And sincerely, shalom, shalom.
Shalom.
So pretty much we're just going to go into a Tazayawan, which is the word of the day. Going into Zion, which is Tazayawan by a Barith in the Hebrew. I'm going to go ahead and get it. It says Tazayawan, which we got written right here is Tazaya, Wa, and a Na. And the Wa and the Na is going to be connected. It says Tazayawan, signpost, monument, market. It says a monumental or guiding pillar, sign, title, waymark. It says a sipis, a pillar, so called from its being set up, erected. It says it comes from the root word tazah. Then it says whether septural, and it says or to shew the way. All right. So I want to get the definition for monument. All right, and it says it's a common definition. It says a statue, building, or other structure erected to commemorate a famous or notable person or event. All right, and pretty much what is word going into ultimately is going into the nation of Yasha'Allah, because Israel was set up in the Lord's image.
And to add to you, this is monument in the etymological line. It says from the late 13th century, all the way down the middle, it says literally something that reminds, a derivative to moneri, to remind, to bring to one's recollection, to tell of, to make, think of, remind, which pretty much, what brothers going into, Zion, or in the Hebrew, Tazayawan, it means a monument because we are a representative of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua here on earth, man. All right, the Lord created the Israelites to have, somebody represent him while we're on this earth. Just like you have the so-called white man who is the physical representation of Satan. Okay, the Israelites are the physical representation of the Most High. So we're supposed to, be shown forth the ways of the Lord. All right, that's why we have the law, statutes, and commandments to show the Most High's will, man. All right. It says enduring evidence or example of, which continuing on, it says a structure or edifice to commemorate a notable person, action, period, or event, which pretty much will represent Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, man. Okay.
Can we get that Barasha of Genesis 1:27?
Yep. This is the book of Genesis chapter 1 verse 27. It says, so God created man in his own image. In the image of God created he him. Male and female created he them.
Mm-hmm. And when you go into that word image, is tazalam, and it says images of tumors, mice, heathen gods, image, likeness of resemblance. It says, I'm gonna skip down to the point. It says, I'm gonna go to the Hebrew Chaldee lexicon. It says image, likeness. It says a shadow. When you think about a shadow, pretty much it follows you like white on rice, So we are the representatives of Yahweh Bahasham Yahushua, and what gives us that representation, the law, statutes, and commandments.
Get that for you in Psalms 147. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 147 and 19. It says, he showeth his word unto Jacob, his statutes and his judgments unto Israel.
Mm-hmm.
He have not dealt so with any nation, and as far for his judgments, It's like, and as for his judgments, they have not known them. Praise ye the Lord.
So pretty much the word, the understanding of the scriptures was given to the nation of Yasha'Allah, the 12 tribes. All right, you Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, West Indian nations, and Israelite foreigners. All right, and no other nation. We are the representation of the Lord.
I got one more for you.
Con.
Amos 3 and 2. I'll start with 1. Hear this word that the Lord has spoken against you, O children of Israel, against the whole family, which I brought up from the land of Egypt, saying, you only have I known of all the families of the earth. Therefore I will punish you for all your iniquities.
How you break that?
Because the reason why we're in this position that we are in now, because our people have went away from the ways of the Lord, man. All right? So, because we are supposed to be following the ways of the Lord, because that's our heritage. The law, statutes, commandments is our standard that we're supposed to be abiding by. Since we went away from that, the Lord has punished us for our iniquities by giving us into the hand of our enemies, man.
Mm-hmm.
All right? And we are still suffering the effects of the curses because of our disobedience to this day, man.
Mm-hmm.
We're at a point in time now where the Lord is bringing us back to remembrance of who we were as a people, or who we are as a people, and He's giving us everything back, giving us our heritage back, giving us our language back, giving us the names of our power back. And so this is us coming back into the knowledge of knowing that we are Hebrew Israelites, man.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna get the other definition, common definition.
Mm-hmm.
The definition was waymark. Could you get the etymology, Uncle Sean?
Board.
Waymark.
Waymark.
Con. This is waymark. Common definition. It says a mark or a sign on a route in the countryside to show the way to people who are walking. Let me get another one. It says the meaning of waymark is an object serving as a guide to someone traveling. So pretty much Yasha'Allah, and more specifically going to the kingdom, the other nations are going to follow after our ways. You know, because going to the name Tazayawan, we're going to be that monument. We are that monument. You see, and more so in the kingdom. Let's get where you go ahead and get that.
It doesn't have a etymon.
Doesn't.
But what'd you read off of? What's the site?
It was just a definition.
God, okay, what I'm seeing some dictionary.com, a symbol or signpost marking a route of a footpath, and then it says from Bible32.com, what are the waymarks in the Bible? It says waymark. It says a sign or guiding mark on the highway. So I mean, you know,
It's pretty much like when you go on like an interstate, it'll say you're this far from this particular destination, pretty much guiding you to where you should be at.
So what it's called for?
Micah 4 verses 1 to 2.
This is the book of Micah, chapter 4, verse 1. It says, but in the last days it shall come to pass that the mountain of the house of the Lord shall be established in the top of the mountains, and it shall be exalted above the hills, and the people shall flow into it.
Kind of pretty much going into the kingdom. We're gonna be at the top, whereas like with now we're at the bottom because of the curses you see. But the Lord's gonna remove those curses. All right, and in the kingdom we're gonna be at the top.
That's right. Verse 2. And many nations shall come and say, come and let us go up to the mountain of the Lord, and to the house of the power of Jacob, and he will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his paths.
Pretty much tied into that point, or pretty much tied into the definition. It said a waymark. All right, something to guide, because it says we will walk in his paths. Pretty much following Tazayawan. It says, for the law shall go forth of Tazayawan, showing you that's what makes us a wreck. Because when you go into the word, it also goes into a wreck. All right. It says in the word of the Lord from Yerushalayim. So pretty much the nations are going to flow after the nation of Israel. Right. Following the law, statutes, and commandments.
Right. Because see, the Israelites, we have been given the ways of life, man. All right, which are the law, statutes, and commandments. And so these heathen, you know, amongst their rulerships prior, you know, to the way of living now, all right, we're going to have to teach them on how to truly live here on the planet Earth, man. Because amongst their own beliefs and their own customs, they're not living correctly, man. This is why you having, you know, these Moabites, for example, all right, they're pretty much destroying the ecosystem because of their, you know, their diets, you know, under their culture, okay. You have situations such as, they make a shark fin soup where they'll literally go into the ocean and fish for sharks just to cut off their fins and then throw them back in the ocean to where they can't move, so they'll literally drown. You know, that's wicked. You eating the rats which are meant to cleanse the earth. You know, so many examples of what we're trying to show is, we have to teach the heathen on how to truly live, man. All right, because the Lord, He gave us this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, all right, to be a sight in the eyes of the heathen, so that they can, follow after our ways to be shown how to live correctly, man. If I can get that real quick.
Okay.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 4, and verse 5. It says, behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments, even as the Lord my power commanded me, that ye should do so in the land whither ye go to possess it. Keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations, which shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people. Because
Make a point, huh?
yeah, go ahead.
Pretty much going into that, it said Zion was erect. Pretty much like the brother's going into, that's what gives us direction and keeps us in that firm, steadfast position.
Right, and that also calls the nation to look at us with great reverence, man.
Mm-hmm.
Because you look at the ancient forefathers of old, all right, the sons of God, all right, they were revered. That's why in Genesis, I think that's what chapter 4, it goes into the giants. That word giants is not talking about the Nephilim. It's talking about the fallen ones, because we were great in stature. All right, the nations looked at us as a notable people, because we were one with our power. Okay, so it says, keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and understanding in the sight of the nations, which shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people. For what nation is there so great, who have the Most High so nigh unto them, as the Lord our power is in all things that we call upon him for? And what nation is there so great, that has statutes and judgments so righteous as all this law which I set before you this day? All right, so the nations, they're going to revere us again when we're in the kingdom of heaven, man. This is why, going back to Micah 4 and 2, it says that many nations shall come and say, just like it shall say, come and let us go up to the mountain of the Lord and to the house of the God of Jacob, and he will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For the law shall go forth out of Zion, and the word of the Lord from Jerusalem. So the nations are gonna be drawn to us, man, because they're gonna want to be, taught the ways of wisdom. Like how when the Queen Sheba, when she came out to seek the wisdom of Solomon, and she was astonished because she thought the doorman, because he was decked out. She thought that was Solomon, man. All right, so just off of the presence of the Israelites, man, from the lowest Israelite, all right, the nations are gonna want to be around us, man. What Scripture talking about, they're gonna give us their children, all right, their wives as concubines, man, their sons as servants to serve us, just so they have a reason to be around us, man. But like I said, we're gonna be teaching the nations the ways of the Lord, because under the Israelite kingdom, all nations will serve Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai in that day, man. And like I said, they're gonna look at Israel as being, back in the eyes of the Most High again. When they see Israel, they're going to see the God of the Bible, man. The God of the universe.
Yeah. That was pretty much it. Unless you had something else.
One more. Yeah, Deuteronomy 7. Because at the point being that 7 and 6. Okay. All right. What makes us such a great people is because the Most High, he said he made us holy, man. All right. That word holy goes into separate. So we're not equal like the world is trying to push to nobody. We're actually above all you. Like I said, he made us to be above all nations on the earth, man. You got it.
This is the Barium, also Deuteronomy chapter 7 and verse 6. It says, for thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy power. The Lord thy power hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
Right. He said he made us to be a holy and special people. All right, above all the nations on the earth. So yes, the Bible is racist, man. All right, you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, you are above the rest of the nations on the planet because we have the ways of the Most High, you know, with us, man. How you spell that word peculiar? I want to look it up in that model.
Pecululiar.
All right, so peculiar in the etymology line, it says belonging exclusively to one person. It says of one's own property, literally property and cattle. The point being, we belong to the Most High. All right, so we are a great and special people unto the Lord, man. All right, and the law, statute, commandments were given unto us to pretty much, you know, separate us from the other nations and put us on high, man. So when we're put back in that right stead, man, the nations will revere us again, man, and they will bow to us, man. You know. Keep 1-7. Unless you have something else.
I was looking at the term for racist, but I'll go
It's
to
pretty much just to be for your race, to be for your kind.
Mm-hmm.
And the Most High, all throughout the Bible, tells you he only cares about Israel, man. You want to get that too? It's in the Isaiah. Nations are as like a drop in a bucket, or you get the one in Sirach, either one.
God.
Because yeah, the Israelites are a special people, man. All right, we are the most important people on the planet. And as messed up as that sounds, it's just the truth, man. Because like I said, if you notice the correlation between how the earth is and how the nation of Israel are, the reason why the earth is so messed up is because the nation of Israel is messed up, man. The further we have went away from being the people of the Most High, all right, and walking in the ways of the Lord, and went into the ways of the heathen, the ways of death, the world has suffered for it, man. You know, which is why it's important for our people to come back into the ways of the Lord, man, to show forth the importance of why the Most High set us on high, man. You know?
This is second Isaiah, also Ezra chapter 6 and verse 56. It says, as for the other people which also come of Adam, thou hast said they are nothing, but be like unto spittle, and has likened the abundance of them unto a drop that falleth from a vessel.
Right, so that's the scripture that cuts equality, man. Equality is nowhere in the Bible, man. The Lord always set a difference, you know, upon the people, all right? And the Israelites just so happened to be his favorite, you know? Speak real quick, I got a precept I'm trying to find.
God. I'm gonna run that back.
Go ahead.
This is second Isaiah, Ezra chapter 6 and verse 56. It says, as for the other people which also come of Adam, thou hast said that they are nothing. Pretty much going into the other nations, you know. If you're not of the nation of Yasha, you know, the Lord can give two shits about you. It says, but be like unto spittle, and has likened the abundance of them unto a drop that falleth from a vessel. And now, O Lord, behold these heathen, which have ever been reputed as nothing, have begun to be lords over us and to devour us. Pretty much going into the curses, you know, when you go into Jeremiah chapter 12 and verse 9, it says, mine heritage is unto me as a speckled bird. The birds round about her are against her. Come ye assemble all the beasts of the field, come to devour. All right, pretty much again going to the curses, you know. Each nation has had a chance to rule over us. All right, but then in the kingdom, you know, the roles is going to be reversed. All right, and when it goes into this part, devour, we get that word for devour as well. It says akala, and when you go into the base word akal, it goes into consuming, devouring, destroying. It says food, eating, and fire of judgment to consume. All right, and that's pretty much what the nations did to us. Mm-hmm. You see, and the Lord is going to reward them for that. All right, in the kingdom, and then also in the kingdom, like we're going into, they're going to be following our laws.
Right, because see, the Lord had to show the world on the importance of Israel, you know, coming back unto their heritage, man. Because like I mentioned, the Lord, he has preferences, he has favorites, all right? And this is proof. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 5, verse 23. And said, O Lord, that bears rule over every wood of the earth, and of all the trees thereof, thou hast chosen thee one only vine, and of all lands of the world of the whole world, thou hast chosen thee one pit, and of all the flowers thereof one lily, and of all the depths of the sea thou hast filled thee one river, and of all builded cities thou hast hallowed Zion unto thyself. All right, so the point being, the Lord, all right, he has hallowed Zion to himself. Zion is his favorite nation. All right, Tazayawan, because we are that monument that represents the Lord, man. All right, and that's through his ways. It says, and of all the verse 26, and of all the fowl that are created, thou hast named thee one dove, and of all the cattle that are made, thou hast provided thee one sheep, and among all the multitudes of people thou hast gotten thee one people, and unto his people, that whom thou lovest, thou gavest a law that is approved of all. So the point being, like I said, the Lord chose Israel and gave us his laws, which proves that he only loved Israel. As we read earlier, Psalm 147 and in Amos 3, all right, the Lord has only known Israel. No other nation was given the law, statute, commandment, which proves that the Lord, yes, he's racist, man. He only cares about his people.
You said one lily. I'm going to get the word for lily, which goes into the word Susan, which a lot of Edomites pick that name, but, it says lily. It says shawashan. And when you go into this word, it says from its whiteness. Now, when we go into white, it pretty much goes into mercy, getting a victory. But in this root word, sharash dabar, which is shawash, it says to exalt, to rejoice, display joy. All right, when we go into the kingdom, the nation of Israel is going to be shown that mercy as well as be exalted in the kingdom. You see?
Because like we said, man, the law, statute, commandments, that's our token that connects us back to the Father and the Son, man. All right. So the law, statute, commandments are still into effect this day. What's that? Baruch 4:1. You can get that Bible shot real quick.
Okay. This is Baruch chapter 4 and verse 1. It says, "This book of the commandments of the Most High. This is the book of the commandments of the Most High, and the law that endureth forever. All they that keep it shall come to life, but such as leave it shall die."
Right. And so the elect is coming back into the knowledge of the law, statutes, and commandments, man. And while 2/3 continue to deny the Lord, all right, deny Yahweh Shah, because we understand we're not going to be saved by the law. We're saved through our faith in Yahweh Shah. But the point being, the law, statutes, commandments, that is the token of our covenant that the Lord made with our forefather Abraham, which is passed down to Isaac to Jacob unto us today. All right, which are the ways of life, man. Real quick, just to prove that point, this is Deuteronomy. Can you hold Acts 2:28 too? Deuteronomy 5:33. Ye shall walk in all the ways which the Lord your power hath commanded you, that ye may live, and that it may be well with you, and that ye may prolong your days in the land which ye shall possess. So, as of right now, we know that we can't keep the law, statute, commandments perfect, but through our faith in Yahweh Shai, all right, we understand that we have been given back the ways of life, man, because Yahweh Shai was that mediator, all right, the mediator to pretty much bring us back to the Father. And so our faith in Him is what brings us back, to salvation, to everlasting life, man. He's the key, all right.
You said 2:28.
Kind.
This is Acts chapter 2 and verse 28. It says, "Thou hast made known to me the ways of life. Thou shalt make me full of joy with thy countenance."
Right, and what's that talking about, man? All right. First, it said that has made me known to the ways of life, because we have been given our heritage back, which is the words of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shah. All right, we have been brought back to our power. We've been given our identity back. All right, we have been given the tools that we need to get through to salvation, which number one is through Yahweh Shah. John chapter 10 tells you that, man. The Lord He's the door. He's the way into everlasting life, man. All right, and by His teachings, all right, telling us to repent and seek the Father. Okay, we are reclaiming that glory that was stripped from us, man. All right, like what's that in Hosea, when the Lord said, "Thou shalt," He shall call his son Lord me.
Let me get up.
Yeah, Bible Shah. And we just going in the spirit now, but this is just showing you the how we're being brought back into being that monument, getting our name back to Tazayawan, man. All right, that shame is going to be taken off of us, man.
This is Hawashah, also Hosea chapter 1 and verse 9. It says, "Then the Most High, then said the Most High called his name La'ah Ein Yeh, which is not my people. For ye are not my people, and I will not be your power.
So because of our iniquity, the Lord, he turned his back on us, man. He stripped us of our heritage, man. But we're in a time now to where the Lord, he's bringing that back, man. You know what that said? Where it says, "Put on our beautiful garments." That's what Isaiah 53.
52.
Get that real quick, Bible Bashar. Because now we're in the process of the elect coming back, and through the elect, the monument is being shown again, man. All right.
This is Yeshaya, Isaiah chapter 52 and verse 1. It says, "Awake, awake, put on thy strength, O Tazayawan. Put on thy beautiful garments, O Yerushalayim, the holy city."
And what's our strength, man? All right, the law, statutes, commandments, the ways of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, man. Our faith in Yahweh Shem Yahushai, man. All right, so we're putting back on our covering, man. All right, that the beautiful garments is wisdom, knowledge, understanding. All right, which separates us from the rest of the world, man. You know, so Zion is being beautified again by us coming back into the remembrance of who we are as being Yasharallah, man, the sons of the power, man. All right, the sons of God, who the world will see us as when the Lord, returns and changes us from these vile bodies into those new celestial bodies, man. You know.
This is out.
Go ahead.
It says, "For henceforth there shall no more come into thee the uncircumcised and the unclean."
Must be one.
Kind of pretty much because in the kingdom, we're going to have those perfect bodies. Verse 2, "Shake thyself from the dust, arise and sit down, O Yerushalayim. Loose thyself from the bands of thy neck, O captive daughter of Zion." And it pretty much, this truth is what shakes us from that dust, which is that confusion. And it says arise and sit down. Pretty much when you go into this word arise, because again the lesson was on Tazayawan, Zion. It says Kwawam, which means to stand up. All right, and it says to be established, to be fixed, to stand. Pretty much going into the word, something that's erected, a monument, a waypoint, or a waymark.
Yep. I got two to add to you. This is First Corinthians 15. And I'm going to start at verse 50. It says, matter of fact, I'm going to go up to, I'm going to start at 47. Well, actually, I'm starting at 45, but this is really just going into how Yahushua, all right, was the example of how Israel is about to be beautified, man. Because Yahushua is the start of Israel, being beautified again. So this is 1 Corinthians 15 and 45. It says, "And so it is written, the first Adam was made a living soul, and the last Adam was made a quickening spirit." Because we know, Yahushua, who was Adam in the reincarnation, when he was here the first time as Adam, all right, and he sinned, okay, by hearkening unto Eve, who was beguiled by the serpent. Sin came into the world, all right, and through sin, this is why we die, all right. But it says, "But the last Adam was made a quickening spirit," all right, because Yahushua, all right, which is the last Adam, all right, he was risen from the dead and given that angelic body, all right. So when he returns, man, okay, he's going to give Israel the same body which is going to go into, all right. Howbeit, that was not the first, which is spiritual, but that which is natural, and afterwards that which is spiritual. The first man is of the earth, earthly. The second man is the Lord from heaven. So this is why when Yahushua returns, he said he's going to come in all his glory. All right, because he's going to come not as a man. He's going to come in that angelic form. All right, and wreak havoc upon the wicked. All right, and the elect. I'm just keep reading. I'm just going to say it. It says, "And as we have borne the image of the earthly, we shall also bear the image of the heavenly." So we're going to get that same body that Yahushua has now. "Now this I say, brethren, that flesh and blood cannot inherit the kingdom of the Most High, neither do of corruption inherit incorruption. Behold, I show you a mystery. We shall not all sleep, but we shall all be changed in the moment, in the twinkling of an eye, at the last trump. For the trumpet shall sound, and the dead shall be raised incorruptible, and we shall be changed. For this corruptible must put on incorruption, and this mortal must put on immortality." Right. So when Yahushua returns, with the host of angels, all the elect is gonna get beamed up in that fathership, and we're gonna shed these earthly bodies, right, these chains of darkness, which sin dwells within, and we're gonna inherit those incorruptible bodies, which is those new angelic bodies, in which we're gonna be made perfect. We're never gonna sin, all right, ever again. Then, all right. It says, "For this corruptible must put on incorruption, and this mortal must put on immortality. So when this corruptible shall have put on incorruption, and this mortal shall have put on immortality, then shall be brought to pass the saying that is written, Death is swallowed up in victory. O death, where is thy sting? O grave, where is thy victory?" Because Israel's blot is our sin, man. All right. So this is what has pretty much been a stain on our memorial, man. All right. So when the Lord changes us, okay, we're not gonna have a blot on us anymore. We're gonna be perfect. We're gonna truly be that monument that the Lord set up for us to have. We'll finish it out. Verse 56. The sting of death is sin, and the strength of sin is the law. So we're not gonna sin anymore, man. All right. And to get that, could you get Hebrews 8:8, Bible shot?
Okay.
I got one more and then close.
This is like Barium, also Hebrews chapter 8 and verse 8. It says, "For finding fault with them, he said, Behold, the days come, saith the Lord, and I will make a new covenant with the house of Yasha'Allah."
So I can go up a second.
Come. Verse 7. "For if that first covenant had been faultless, then should no place have been sought for the second."
Salaki. Who's reading up? Start at 6, Salaki.
Okay. Hebrews 8 and 6. "But now hath he obtained a more excellent ministry, by how much also he is the mediator of a better covenant, which was established upon better promises."
All right, and this is what Yahushua did, man. All right, his sacrifice, all right, opened up the chance for Israel to return to the Father, man. All right, like I said, that mediator, he's the go-between between us and Yahweh, because right now Yahweh has his back turned towards, because a precept tells you that the Lord, his eyes can't behold wickedness, and so right now Israel has that stain of wickedness upon us, man. So the Lord can't look upon us. So he has his back turned to us. So Yahushua came in that place to be that mediator, to be the go-between between us and the Most High, man. So go ahead.
We have verse 7.
Verse 7.
Hebrews 8 and 7. "For if that first covenant had been faultless, then should no place have been sought for the second."
Right, the first covenant. All right, that was when Moses went up on the Mount Sinai and came back down with the Ten Commandments, written in the stone. All right, which we made a covenant that when Israel, put the blood on the post, to where we was gonna keep the ways of the Lord, and we was gonna live by that, man. But our people went away from that, and this is why we died. This is why we end up in the situation that we ended up in today. All right, the curses in Deuteronomy 28 verses 15 down to 68, man. Because hey, the law was perfect. It was us who wasn't perfect, man. Because we can't keep the laws perfect in this sinful flesh, man. Go ahead.
Verse 8. "For finding fault with them, he saith, Behold, the days come, saith the Lord, when I will make a new covenant with the house of Yasha'Allah and with the house of Yahweh, not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day when I took them by the hand to lead them out of the land of Egypt, because they continued not in my covenant, and I regarded them not, saith the Lord. For this is the covenant that I will make with the house of Yasha'Allah after those days, saith the Lord. I will put my laws into their mind and write them in their hearts, and I will be to them a power, and they shall be to me a people."
Right, so the Lord's going to put his law, statute, commandments in our inward part, man. So our minds are going to be spiritually programmed never to sin again, man. We're going to be perfect, which is going to go along with those new bodies, to where we're going to be like spiritually programmed to be righteous 100% of the time, man. No more wicked thoughts. No more, trying to, do wickedness in the dark. All right, we're going to be 100% righteous 100% of the time, man. All right, which we're not in the second covenant yet, because you got guys saying that we're in the second covenant now. All right, so as I mentioned in Deuteronomy, it's like in Deuteronomy, 1 Corinthians 15. All right, that's the beginning of the second covenant when we're changed, man. But as of right now, we're still in the flesh. We're not under the second covenant yet, man. Go ahead.
Verse 11. "And they shall not teach every man his neighbor, and every man his brother, saying, Know the Lord, For all shall know me from the least to the greatest.
Right, so meaning all Israelites will know Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, which is another cut proof to you that we're not under the second covenant, because you still got Israelites out there that don't know Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. They're still calling on Jesus, Allah, Buddha, Ahaya, Yahweh, all these different gods. No. In the kingdom, all right, all people will know, all right, Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, to where we're not going to have to be out doing videos like this, man. Teaching our people the ancient language, man. All right, teaching the people who they are, man. Everybody will know the Lord, and we'll know our language, know 100% in that day, man. Go ahead.
Hebrews 8:12. For I will be merciful unto their unrighteousness, and their sins and their iniquities will I remember no more.
Because we'll be perfect. The Lord said He's going to cast our sin into the ocean, man.
Yeah, pretty sure.
Go ahead.
This is the Holyum, also Psalms 103 and verse 12. It says, as far as the east is from the west, so far hath He removed our transgressions from us. So pretty much, the whole nation is going to be shown. You said what?
Righteous.
Yeah, going to be righteous in the kingdom and be shown mercy in the kingdom, starting with the elect.
I got that for you. This is Isaiah 60 and 21. Thy people also shall be all righteous. They shall inherit the land forever. The branch of my planting, the work of my hand, that it may be glorified.
Oh, you got it.
Kind of. So like you just said, man, the Lord said all His people shall be righteous, man. Because under that second covenant, like I said, He's going to put His law, statute, commandments in our inward part to where we're never going to sin again, man. So we're going to truly be that monument, the show forth Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, man. Our people will be praising the Lord daily. All right, we won't be giving our glory unto another God, man. Yahweh Hashem Yahushua will get all the praise, all the honor, all the glory, man. The whole world will know Yahweh Hashem Yahushua because of Israel, and they will come seeking us out to know the Lord through us, man. You know, that's how we will show forth our reverence to the Most High. That's how He's going to beautify Tazayawan in the earth, man. All right.
You want me to finish it up? Verse 13.
Yeah, go ahead.
This is like bar in Hebrews 8:13. It says, in that He saith, a new covenant He hath made the first old. Now that which decayeth and waxeth old is ready to vanish away.
Yeah. So point being, hey, we're gonna be changed, man. We're gonna be perfect, you know. And like I said, that's going to show forth Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, the glory in the earth. When Israel was seen in the earth, they will know Yahweh Hashem Yahushua through us, man. That's the point. All right. So Tazayawan, man, monument. All right. That's the Hebrew word for the day, man. All right. And this is one of the many reasons why returning to your heritage is important, man. Knowing exactly what being a Hebrew Israelite is about, man. Okay.
Hey, so I don't want to run to Zaza by Nayapah, Lord's Will. That was a beautiful edification through the Spirit. While I don't want to run to Zaza, Atham, Yash Lai Latawah, Lord's Will. You all have a good day. Hey, we're going to go ahead and close it out by saying, Kawalai Allah, Yahweh, Hashem, Yahushua, Hashem, Kakodash. Hey, double honors to the elders and apostles of great millstone that told us the truth and rule well. And much respect to you, brothers, that pushing the truth with our righteousness and sincerity. Shalom, shalom.
Shalom, Shabbat Shalom.
Lai Latawah.